Northern Cal. They like my songs, they like my smile, they like my style. Let's go.
Man, we here at Cam Kirk Studios, my guy. Thank you for pulling up on me, brother.
Yes, sir.
It means a lot, man. You coming from all out of town. I saw your 30-day calendar.
Yeah.
To know you squeezed some time to come here. Cam Kirk Studios, man. LaRussell, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Come on. We've been trying to get it for a little minute.
Man, no doubt, man. I'm humbled, man, and I'm just thankful. Anytime in this industry, I meet people that can just be humans. You know what I mean? And we don't got to put the guard up. We don't got to go manager to manager, assistant to assistant.
Yeah.
Like whenever we could just have a genuine connection, like, yo, I rock with you. Yo, let's pull up, man. That means a lot to me because that's the type of shit that I like.
Right.
To be real, man. So I appreciate it, man. Welcome to Atlanta. Welcome to our studio space. How's Atlanta been treating you, bro?
Man, lovely.
Yeah.
We had a sold-out show. We done did radio. We
Amazing.
hit Cadillac Chronicles. We done got up with Jay Hill. We've been on that run. We just cooked with Jazze Pha yesterday.
Oh, shit.
Legendary.
Yeah, legendary.
Yeah.
He was just in here like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's hard.
Nah, that's dope. That's legendary.
He's a spirit. He's a spirit.
Man, something about that Atlanta spirit, that Southern hospitality still exists here, man. It's very welcoming. Like, we're not a gatekeeper city. We're not going to make you check in or nothing. It's really a city where we welcome all types of energy. So I'm happy that the city's giving you that vibe. That, you know what I mean? I hope you feel it, you know what I mean? I really just want to get into a little bit of your journey, man. How did you get started on this path of just like, I would call it like entrepreneurship, but then also like really trying to be independent? Was that always the vision? That was always the dream?
Hell nah. You know, like when you starting off, you don't have a choice whether you independent or not.
Yeah.
If nobody wants you, you independent. You know, the
right.
moment you make a song and no label looking at you and nobody has interest, you independent.
Yeah.
So just out of necessity, that's what we been. And for me, I just refused to let that like disable me. It was like, man, we're gonna still figure something out. And all I had was my home. So I just started shooting content and making it and producing myself. And same as you doing here, I was building a community. Like I was doing live sessions for all the artists in where I'm from. I was behind the camera first, you know, mixing all the song, mastering. You know, we got thousands of live sessions on my YouTube, and that's me. Like I shot all those, mixing, audio, setting everything up. You feel me? So I played the background until it was my time to lead.
Man, that's what it's about, man. I could resonate with that story because although I'm known or people expect me to be behind the scenes, it's like I've always had a vision of being bigger, you know what I mean, bigger and bigger than my role. But one of the things, I had just talked to Don C recently, and it's about being a team player. And it's about doing whatever it takes to see the squad win. You know what I mean? And I've always enabled that energy. Even before it was my time to lead my own team, I've always been with that. So whether it was me being a cameraman, when I worked with Young Scooter, I was his cameraman, partially his manager. I was his PR. I was making his single covers. Like it was like whatever it took to make sure we win. And I carried that same tradition whether I worked with Metro Boomin or Mike Will, whoever I was around. You know, I used to get Thug clothes sent in from brands in LA because I just used to know how to talk to them. So it's like you play whatever role it is until it's time to actually build your own empire. And even speaking to like that independence thing, I used to want to be the first photographer signed to Rock Nation. That was like one of my goals. Like I saw a vision for that. Like, like man, like labels don't have to just feature music artists. Like, cause I just saw the money I was making working with brands or whatever. I'm like, imagine if I was up under a system and they put some energy behind what I'm building, it could be like that. And I used to have that vision. I was like, I'm gonna get signed to a label just like a music artist, or at bare minimum, I'm assigned to an agency.
Right.
And it's just like you said, man, sometimes you could just be forced to have to do it on your own if no one's receptive on the other end of that call, you know what I mean? So
you know, we're sold that dream so early. You know, every artist, I think every artist that come up, the goal is to get signed. No one dreams of like, I'm gonna be independent and do everything myself. You know, like everything you see from Michael Jackson all the way up forward is like a label gonna come and change your life, you know, so you don't really know no better until you get in there.
Nah, that's real. That's exactly how it was. We reached out to so many people, and then I just started building it. I was like, I'm just, like you said, we're just not gonna wait. we just gonna make it happen. The crazy thing about my career is just that so many no's. I get so many no's, bro, and it actually it's always leading me in the right direction. It's actually one of those things where I know I'm doing something. I can know when I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing. It's because a door will really slam right in my face. And then the easiest path is always when I'm out doing it myself. So I've always had moments of like self-doubt where I might be like, man, I want to get with somebody else. I want to be a part of this team, be a part of that. And I've had so many opportunities in my career where I thought that was the path, and like I'll get down there and it'll just like be removed from me instantly. And then the second I start building my own world, whether it's Cam Kirk Studios or stuff I'm doing, or building my own roster of team, it's been the easiest thing I've ever done.
Right.
And it just keeps resonating with me, like this is what you meant to be. Have you felt that in your journey?
Definitely. You know, we try to do so many different partnerships. Generally, they never work out. They never pan out, which is crazy because, you know, we done so much independent that when you partner with somebody, you assume like, man, we're going to get 3 times more done because they got this. And it don't pan out that way, you know. But there's also, it's like you saying, those no's. Like sometimes you got to knock on every door on the block before you find somebody who like, come on in.
Nah, that's real. And part of your independent journey, what's been your favorite part of it?
Giving my homies royalties and the things that they work on. You know, like my photographer and my director and videographer, they own royalties in the music that they work on. Like they own pieces of albums that pay them every single month. You feel me? That's some shit that don't even exist. Like, big as a photographer, sometimes you can barely get a fee to shoot a nigga cover.
For sure.
You feel me? But to own equity, you know, perpetually in an artist that, like, Yasion's been with me since, like, 2019. And it's so much. Like, we done had Juvie in the backyard and got songs with Anik, got songs with Montel Jordan. Like, we own a song with Montel Jordan.
Crazy.
And all my niggas got equity and my mama got equity.
Crazy.
You know, I think my favorite part about independence is just being able to do that.
Do you think that came from you playing the background, like to know, like it gives you that empathy to know what it's like to work on something and know the role? Like, where do you think that came from? 'Cause
that was my way of taking care of everybody before I could take care of everybody.
Yeah.
It was like, we ain't got no chicken, but I'm a feed you, I'm gonna give you travel, and then I'm gonna give you this equity that one day may be worth something.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because I've done every role on my team. I've played every position. I made the album cover. Everything a nigga in the room could do, I've done, you know, and still would do if I have to.
Yeah. Nah, that's real. We just had a team meeting here with my staff. I have 15 employees that help me build a lot of stuff here. And we just talked about like having a team buy into not only owning the task or your job responsibility, but owning the outcome. Like being like invested in seeing it all the way through. Not just if I tell you to do 1, 2, 3, you do 1, 2, 3, but you might do 1, 2, 3, and 4 if the 4th thing is needed to actually make this a win. And hearing you talk about giving equity, that's what you're doing. That's what you're incentivizing. Is like someone on your team doesn't want to just do the bare minimum. They want to see this win because they got invested interest.
Man, and you know, the most beautiful thing is when we have BTS days or shoot days, if you look at it from a bird's eye view or from a behind the scenes view, you see so many people willing to do so many things.
Yeah.
Whether it's holding a light, holding a speaker, running to get water, it don't matter what it is. You almost don't know whose role is who because everybody's willing to do whatever role is necessary.
And that's a beautiful thing. And where'd you learn that leadership? Is that something that you were just born with? Did you see it in somebody? Like, how did you learn to lead a tribe like that?
I think it's actively in me. It's like a trait I had since a youngin'. Like, since I was a kid, I was always the nigga who, like, put together groups and brought everybody to the crib to record. And there's something I seen my pops do, you know, like my pops hustle, and I seen him put everybody on to hustle as well. You know, we had niggas coming to the house and he running everybody down the plan. This is what we gonna do, this how it's gonna happen, you gonna take this, you feel me? So I think that's something that's just naturally in me since I was young. And
music, is it just always been something you knew you wanted to do, or when did you see the first signs like, this is actually where I'm supposed to go?
Music was just something I always enjoyed. You know, early on, I didn't think it was possible to be famous or successful in that right. You know, I thought everybody on TV was just like characters on TV,
Yeah.
like wrestling. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I didn't realize like, damn, Snoop Dogg a real nigga.
Yeah.
You feel me? Everything was just kind of like a wrestler. I would say I knew it was really, really tangible, and like really around my first album. Prior to that, it was still hobbyish. It was like, man, I might be able to make it, but
Yeah.
you know, it didn't feel like a finite thing for me. But 2018, when I dropped my first album, that's when it was like, damn, somebody coming to see me at a show.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
it's
this is
beautiful.
tangible now.
Yeah, when it comes, what I love about your journey is it's not just online. Like you have a physical presence that I think is important, and I think it's gonna come back to being more coveted.
You know,
Like,
I was in a stew yesterday, and this girl asked me, she's like, I'm an independent artist. What do you feel like is the best way to monetize your music? And I told her, I said, you got to go build spaces where people can experience you.
Yeah.
Like everybody's think, like, how can I sell albums? How can I get this to release? How can I get people to pay for this? And it's like, bro, you have to build community around it. And she was like, well, you know, for me, I feel like a lot of my music is just like big around Africa. And I'm like, nigga, you got to go to Africa.
Go there.
And she said, you think like really touching the people is like the way? I just looked at her and smiled. And it was like, you know, and I told her, I said, me and Jazze Pha could never make this record we made today if we were sending files.
Facts.
We had to be in a room together.
Facts.
We had to be able to hug and hit each other and like, oh, no, move it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you really have to go connect. That's the best way to get to monetization for anything.
Nah, that's dope that you're still giving that level of advice. You know what I mean? Because you're doing it in actions, and now you're telling people. It's very important, man, because I think we just lose sight of that. And
Hell
we
yeah.
don't understand in this day and age, and I'm sure you see it, being independent, knowing, you know, the competition that you're going up against, the game is so different now. Like
Man.
when you have a world on the internet where I can pay a site to post my exact caption, like I could, like, I don't know if people understand that. Like,
Yeah.
the stuff you're looking at through these media outlets,
Yeah.
sometimes is being submitted directly from the artist. Like,
Yeah.
they're directly saying, such and such has the greatest album this year. It's
Yeah.
like, they
Yep,
wrote
it's
the
all
caption.
controlled
It's
narrative.
all controlled narrative, and it's
all
like,
controlled narrative.
I think that's what scares me about the world we're in. It's like, well, it's an advantage if you use it properly, but that's what you're up against. You're up
Yeah.
against someone that can literally control their own narrative by the dollar, by the comment, by the commas in that
How do
sentence.
you feel about gatekeeping?
Man, I was just having a conversation about gatekeeping. Obviously, it has a negative connotation to the word. The idea that I can stop someone from doing anything is something that I don't necessarily agree with. But I did just write a Substack about sometimes gatekeeping is important to keep people away from doing things they think they're supposed to do when they really not supposed to be
Right.
doing this.
Right.
Right? Because at the end of the day, we all can fall victim to that doom scroll of seeing stuff and you're like, maybe I should try that. Oh, my boy got a clothing line. Man, I should have a clothing line. Or this restaurant is hard. If I had one, I would have that. And sometimes you do need a level of gatekeeping to keep you on track. Like
Yeah.
there was gatekeeping that definitely existed early in my career that kept me from doing things I know I wasn't supposed to be doing. I know I wasn't ready for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there was opportunities I thought I was supposed to have and I wasn't ready for it. And if it wasn't for gatekeeping, I probably would have stumbled and fell and had a lot more L's on my resume. So
Right.
I think in certain levels, it's important to make sure that there are some qualifications to keep you being able to do what it is you're supposed to do. Because I can't tell you, bro, how many photographers I mentor or be around, and I might ask them the most basic question, who's your favorite photographer? And I'm flattered that they can name me, but I'll be like, name me 4 more. Who else? And they be like, man, I don't really,
They didn't study the
I don't
game.
really know nobody. I'm like, how you
Yeah.
know what you're doing if you don't even know what's there? You know what I mean? You can have, I'm
Right.
sure in your industry, you can have that talk all day.
Yeah.
They claim to be rappers or hip hop. Who started hip hop? How did this go? And they can't tell you the history of what they're into. So how can you know even if you're doing something original, or how do you know? Everything comes back
Right.
around. So I do think there needs to be a level of gatekeeping from those that are not serious and that think that this is a lick or think that this is just something I'm gonna just ease into. Because people like me and yourself, we dedicated our lives to this
Man.
and still are, and are risking our lives every day. in the livelihood of us to ensure that we keep this thing going. So I do think it has to be a certain level of it. But from the perspective of like, I'm qualified, I'm built for it, and you're just purposely blocking me out because you trying to hold on to your spot, I don't agree with that part. But if I'm not built for it, I think it's perfectly fine to tell somebody straight up, you ain't ready for this moment. And then hold them to that and challenge them to step up and be ready. But what you think about it?
I think I agree. I think it should be regulatory. You know, the dope thing about the creative field is there's no gate, but the bad thing is there's no gate. You know, you can't go into the NBA if you're not qualified. You can't go into the MLB or the NFL if you're not qualified. You know, the creative field is the only field you could just jump into and get broadcasted to the world, even if you're not. You know, I think in the old days, gatekeeping, I used to feel, you know, it's like, damn, it's a bad practice until you think about what Berry Gordy and all of them was doing. You know, like Berry Gordy was like, nigga, we not putting you on the radio if you're not ready. We not putting you on TV if you're not ready. Then you gonna embarrass us. You know, like they understood that the individual represented more than just the individual.
Nah, and that's important, and that's
like there's niggas who grew up on hip hop who are now like, I don't listen to hip hop, I don't enjoy it, I hate it, because the gatekeeping left. Like there was nobody regulating what became hip hop, and now we lost. You know, I gotta re-earn 60-year-olds who grew up listening to this shit.
Nah, and the funny thing about hip hop and rap, that's probably the only art form or genre where the ones doing it think it's corny to say they doing it. It's like, I'm not a rapper, bruh. I ain't no rap nigga. It's like, how the hell you denouncing what you do? Like, there's nobody else that's gonna be like, LeBron's not gonna say, I'm not no NBA player. I don't play ball. It's like, so we don't even know that we stepping on our own craft. Like, you know what I mean? They think it's corny to even be called to say that you do it.
Right, because it lost its prestige when we start allowing niggas who wasn't rappers to be rappers.
Exactly, and that's where, yes, the gatekeeping needs to be there, because it's like, well then cool, no pressure. No one say you gotta be a rapper, but just go ahead and step out the way. No pressure, like, you know, let someone else step into that role that's gonna actually appreciate it, covet it, and want to keep this thing going. And that's just one of the only things, but I feel like we do that a lot to ourselves. Then we get mad if they don't appreciate it or they don't respect it, when we don't even respect the craft and the art form, you know what I mean? So I definitely agree with you on that part. And it's a topic that I think is, you know, people need to lean in a little bit more too. It's just like ensuring that we're always moving with the proper intention. And like, what's the, you know what I mean? What's the energy behind it? Because I see in your journey, I saw you did a post just showing how much money you invest. And like ads and stuff like that, or I'm sure paying your staff and your team. A lot more people need to pay attention to that. Like I was around a lot of artists when you made that post and I was showing them it. I'm like, bro, you see how much it takes to jump off the porch? Like, and this man doing this independent. And I'm like, we sitting over here saying what we ain't gonna do or what we not willing to invest in. I'm like, this is how you're gonna have to do it. You know what I mean? If you really wanna get some results. But I know, from being someone that shells out a lot of money to keep my energy going, I don't look forward to the 1st and the 15th. I don't look forward to payroll days, man. So tell me about that journey. Like, what gives you the confidence in yourself and your team to be willing to invest money like that? Because most people would have probably just been trying to cut corners or shortcut it.
I feel like the return on what I put out is infinite.
Yeah.
So it makes it a bit easier to put it out, because I know, like, it's hard to determine the ROI on a clip with the Jabberwockies in it. And I'm from the Bay Area and this shit slapping, you know, because when people see it, I'm going to get streams, I'm going to get YouTube views, I'm going to get bookings for shows, I'm going to get brand opportunities, I'm going to get syncs. And who knows, somebody might see it and be like, I want to invest in that record, you know, like, so the ROI, I could merch it, you know, that's 7 different streams of revenue from me running an ad that yields 8 cents per click, you know, so it's like, I might spend $100,000 in a month on these ads, but if every one of these give me 7 different streams of revenue that could possibly occur, not saying they will, but I'm going to go with the possibility because I know who I am. Like I trust I trust that the art that made me smile can also make the world smile and contribute to my career. So I just think it's worthy. If one thing can leave you 7 different outcomes positively, it's worth it.
Nah, that's real. I mean, that's what it's about. So in your journey, to wrap this up, as your North Star, like the thing that you covet the most, is it creative control and ownership? Is it the money? Is it impact? What's keeping you going? And what would you be willing to trade off if you were guaranteed to have one of those 3 things?
Man, all 3 of those work hand in hand. You know, I really think you are the most impactful when you have the capital to do what you want to do. And you're also the most impactful when you have creative control and the ability to do what you want to do. Like all of those work hand in hand. One pillar without the other is stifling. Like when I was making dope content and I was hyper creative, but I didn't have the capital to go push my stuff and the resources, I wasn't able to be as effective. You know, I would affect locally, but I wasn't able to sell out a show in Atlanta. And anytime I don't have the ability to be fully creative, like if we work with a brand and it's like, oh, y'all on the way, the result in the product is like, that's not gonna move nothing. You know, that's not gonna do anything. So all of those really work hand in hand. You need all 3 pillars to be most powerful and most effective.
And do you think the only way for those that may be studying your journey, or maybe at the beginning of their musical journey and trying to figure out which way to go, do you think the only way to achieve all 3 is through independence?
Nah, hell nah, definitely not. Just because you look at the tech world, you know, Mark Zuckerberg didn't get here by being independent. Like he built something that people seen was of value, and he went and got that money from them, you know, for them to invest in it. I think it just depends on who you under. Like you have to be independent to the point of like, I'm going to create something on my own and I'm not going to wait for people to ask me to create it. But then again, it's like sometimes you find the right person. Like me, I empower all of my niggas to go do great things. You feel me? So I don't think you have to be independent to do it, but you have to be somebody who's willing to be independent to do it. Nah, if that's what it takes, you feel me?
That's real. So you don't have like a hard stance on like, man, if you're trying to get into music, stay independent.
Hell no.
You kind of like whatever your journey is.
Nah, because niggas don't work hard enough. Like we be setting people up for death.
Yeah.
You know, it's a reason that you go hire people so you can show them the way, because everybody's not going to do what you did. Some people need a broader plan or blueprint or resource to be able to accomplish that. They still great, but they need a system in place to accomplish it. And everybody can't build a system. Man, it's just a lot of work. You see my calendar, you know, it's like a lot of people ain't ready for that, to go to sleep from a session at 3 a.m. and had to get back up at 6 to go get on a plane and go straight to the radio station and then go here and then go shoot. It's just, to be independent, it takes a lot. And I don't think everybody has to take that route. You know, I think if you can find people who built certain infrastructures for you to exist in. Motown put out a lot of incredible people who changed the world. They wasn't independent. They just had an ecosystem that allowed them to be great. Nah,
that's real, man. Man, again, man, I appreciate you coming through, man. I know you got a busy schedule, and safe travels to you on your way back home or wherever you're going next, man. I appreciate you stopping by, brother.
Gratitude, man.
For sure, man.
I'm from the Bay, the 707.